Pete, where are you?
Over by the White House.
White House. There's like 1,000 White Houses. Can you see a house number or anything?
Can't see anything. The water's too high.
How about a landmark? Something like that.
What did you say?
Can you see any landmarks?
I can see a church with and the road in front of me's.
I can't even understand it. We're gonna have to try something different. Pete, go ahead and fire up your ATAK.
All right.
All right, let's find Pete. All right. Oh, there he is. Okay, see if he can find any landmarks where he's at. There's got to be something around him. Oh, the church, broken steeple. All right, I think I remember seeing that on the way in. Yep, that's the church. Let's see what else he sees. All right, road's flooded. Yeah, it's definitely flooded. There's no way he's making it through there. All right. Got it.
Hi, and what you just saw was the Android Team Awareness Kit, or ATAK, which was developed right here at AFRL. Hi, my name's Peter Mozloom, and I'm the ATAK team lead.
And I'm Lieutenant Justin Davis, a program manager on the ATAK team.
So ATAK is a mobile, extensible, map-based situational awareness app with tactical capabilities to digitize the DoD. ATAK was first developed in 2010, initially for special operations. It was designed for a fast-paced, and for ease of use. Although ATAK's roots stem back to special operations, it's more recently been used for emergency events, a recent one being Hurricane Florence. Paraphrasing what Napoleon Bonaparte once said, when disaster strikes, it's a scene of constant chaos. And in order to manage that chaos, you need a tool or an app to organize, understand, plan, direct, and monitor those emergency events.
In March 2018, after being stationed there for almost 9 years, I left Seymour Johnson Air Force Base for officer training school, never to return again to Eastern North Carolina. Or so I thought. Little did I know I'd find myself back there just 7 months later, reliving the same nightmare I'd seen so many times before in dealing with hurricanes. Except this time, I had a different purpose. In early September, ATAK support was requested for impending landfall of Hurricane Florence along the eastern coast. And having friends, family, and previous coworkers still in the area, I knew this was one of those calls that I needed to answer. Within 15 minutes, I packed up all the ATAK gear I could possibly imagine needing for a situation I didn't even know the requirements for, which is a long way of saying I had no idea what I was doing, and I just threw stuff into bags. My coworker and I hit the road immediately, and we headed to Washington, D.C., where we actually had another team member in the area on travel. So kind of like the Three Musketeers, we joined forces and we headed south to Kinston, North Carolina. And our goal was to stand up a common operating picture and a command and control function unlike anything FEMA had ever used before. The current state of the command center was paper maps taped up all over the walls, printed on a 10,000-pound printer that I'm pretty sure they flew in via Chinook, flip cell phones, handheld radios, and really overall chaos trying to map and track assets on the ground. But within 24 hours, we gave them digital maps, weather overlays, real-time personnel tracking, And we also staged over 50 ATAK devices to later be distributed to first responders as they were transitioning into the disaster area.
So it's important to note for many that accepting new technology or change in general is challenging, especially when that new technology is brought into a high-stress situation where people have trained the same way for many years. A lot of that anxiety, though, can be relieved by training and equipping personnel prior to the event.
Although we may not have made as much headway in the command center as we originally hoped, our real victory came on the ground in dealing with the first responders, some of which had previous experience using ATAK. After we established ATAK infrastructure in the command center, our goal was to equip as many first responders as possible, because after all, these were the men and women that were saving lives every day. So anything we could do to help facilitate coordinated responses and improve their communication flow was our objective. Now earlier, Pete mentioned ATAK being designed for ease of use. Within 15 minutes or less, we were able to train first responders on how to utilize the basic functions of ATAK. Now mind you, many of these folks were technologically challenged, like myself. So thankfully we spoke the same language. Now in ATAK, we're able to customize the toolbar. So keeping their mission set in mind, we equip the devices with the minimum amount of stuff required for them to actually do their jobs. Personnel who were conducting fast water rescues and things with a lot of hands-on tasks were actually given GPS trackers like you see there. And what that did is allowed us to see their location immediately in ATAK and on the command center display, but it didn't require them to actually use an ATAK device. Team leaders and rescue coordinators were the ones that were actually tasked with inputting data into ATAK. Now, in past disasters like Hurricane Katrina, first responders would go door to door conducting welfare checks, and they would actually spray paint the buildings like you see in this photo. Now, to show the contrast and the benefit of the digital effort, we actually have a screenshot from Hurricane Florence where first responders were conducting those same welfare checks, but doing so using ATAK.
So a key point to take away from this slide is those checks were being performed, the emergency responder locations, and the status of the welfare checks were being updated in real time back in the command center.
So in total, we distributed over 50 ATAK devices to 5 different task forces, made up of over 230 first responders. And they were ultimately responsible for hundreds of rescues. After we began connecting everyone, you truly started to see just how hard they were working. Rescues, hazards, road closures, even casualty evacuation requests began populating in ATAK and on the command center display.
And what you see here is a composite of the different screens that were presented at various times within the command center. I want to direct your attention to the lower right-hand corner, where here you see weather updates, personnel responder locations, and airplane traffic all being displayed in real time.
All in all, the ATAK effort for Hurricane Florence proved beneficial for DHS and will hopefully be used for years to come in the disaster response realm. But this story goes to show that life at AFRL isn't so far removed from the operational environment. You very well may find yourself going back to that one place you never thought you'd return to, or better yet, that one place you never thought you'd see.
So there are stories all around us about the interconnected information technology at its worst. Leaks of personal information and the proliferation of misinformation. At AFRL, though, we take information security seriously. We've spent a lot of time ensuring that the ATAK architecture is secure. Sometimes when we're presented with great new technological opportunities, we tend to bury them underneath our old ways of doing business, as you can see here in this picture. ATAK, though, stands as a brilliant reminder that these technologies can do marvelous things, like facilitating collaborative humanitarian efforts focused at fixing problems and saving lives.
Thank you.